Okay, hey everyone, it's me again, Tiny Flame Rob. I spent today after work just tinkering around with some pathfinding stuff for my NPC AI, so I thought that maybe I'd show that off just because I thought it might be interesting to see, rather than just me playing through the levels over and over again. Maybe people would be interested in seeing how the utter madness of me actually trying to make everything work. So I thought I'd do like a behind the scenes game engine view and show some code. It's like this is the most terrifying thing ever to record because I have to show people my code and my code is terrible. But whatever, we'll see how this goes. So we're currently in the game engine. This is the, if you've watched the previous videos, this is the E-Bank level. I kind of had a bit of a glow up. Adding some new textures, new billboards, and just kind of building out the level a bit more, adding in the lighting properly now. And I made some new shaders, as you can see, the scroll shader and stuff, but I'll go through the level later on when I'm finished with everything because I'm still building things out. The important part is the NPC patrol routes that I just implemented. Now, before, if you just play this in the game engine, it takes a little while. We're just gonna go to here. Before we had these little guards right in the E-Bank level, and they patrol between two spots. They'll patrol from goal 1 to goal 2. If we click on one, maybe we can see over here in the side, E-Bank guard. We can see these are patrol nodes, right? They've got a patrol node over here, and they've got a patrol node. Click it. Patrol node over here, which is this area here. And they've got a patrol node up here. So you'll see he'll move between those two patrol nodes, and the Unity nav mesh kind of takes over how he gets there, and we don't really care about how he gets there too much as long as he gets there, right? So that's basically how all the AI works. But what we want to do now is we want to have things be a bit more interesting, and have more options to set, oh my goodness, set where they're patrolling to. So if we just debug up here, we can see these NPC types over here. For example, that little gentleman that just disappeared because he walked off the edge of the map. We can go up here and we'll probably see him around. See, there's a lady up there going up to the station, maybe to catch a train. Once I implement that, same for him now, he's going there. So the way this AI works is, or this patrol route works, is it makes use of warping. So you'll see he'll disappear in a second, right? And that's because we don't just destroy him. Because we want to save on resources, we just teleport him somewhere else and reuse him. Because they're pretty generic looking AI, right? Sorry, NPCs. And we can do like anything we normally want, like we can gas trap them and knock them out and stuff if we want to. But it's cool that we're able to reuse them. And the way this is currently set up is there's 3 different points where they can teleport to, or 4 different points. So if I show you the code for this one, and they'll randomly pick which points they go to. So as an example of the code, ignore all the busyness. The most important bit of code is over here. This script over here on the right hand side. Let me just make it bigger a little bit. So we can see these goals here are all of the places that the NPC can move to, right? So the most important part of getting all of this to work is that I have a coroutine attached to each NPC that sets which goal the NPC is going to be walking towards. So we can see that in the enemy movement script. Now, this script is used for all NPC AI movement in the game, so it's quite hefty. And again, the code is not good. This is not a good way to write code, but I'm kind of doing that on purpose just because I'm kind of trying to do like results-driven development, which is like, you know, I kind of want to get things done first, just because in the past when I do video game projects, I tend to just try and write perfect code and nothing ever gets done, and then, you know, I just get distracted with other projects. So that's kind of my philosophy now. If we look at this code, the most important coroutine, so the most important line of code in this whole script here that we care about is currently line 57, reset patrol status. So if we go to that, and you can see it's a coroutine, right? Because we say start coroutine. So whenever the game starts, the enemy movement script on start starts this coroutine. So it starts the code that starts the code. I know that's crazy, but that's how coroutines work. And the reason we do this is because coroutines run separately from everything else, right? Similar to how the Unity update function calls once per frame. It runs kind of somewhat independently of the rest of the logic of the game. Coroutines can go and do their thing, and that way you can continue with other tasks in the code. So if we look at how this works, it's just an infinite loop with a bunch of shenanigans that needs to happen. And the most important line in all of this craziness is just this line here on line 216, where we say agent destination equals goal1.position. Now goal1 position is their first destination. So back when we looked at that security guard, or that eBank guard over here, he had goal1, which is over here. Oh, that's goal2. This is goal1, right? So this is currently what he has set as goal1. So that coroutine, after X amount of seconds, tells this guard, hey, go to this area. For the enemy NPC, for this one example specifically, you can see this. He's got a little white line on him that turns yellow. It's because I'm using raycasting. So when it goes yellow, he'll meet his destination and turn around. See? Boop. Yellow, and he's gone around it. But for these NPCs, these crazy little guys, we don't care about raycasting, just because my brain didn't think that way. So this is how I'm doing it. So the way we do this is we kind of hijack this enemy movement destination in this other script, and we change it. So whenever this reset patrol status runs again, because you can see it'll run once because we have an infinite loop, and then it'll wait for 1 second. It'll do a bunch of other stuff here, but don't worry about that. So it'll wait for 1 second, and once it's waited for 1 second, it'll start running again. So every single time, every 1 second essentially, the AI will set its destination to be that goal. So the way I currently do all of these, the new AI movement that I worked on today, is to just hijack this variable and basically reset the position to different areas. So every second the NPC will know where to go. So if we go back to the teleport, that goal is this. So this goal gets assigned to that NPC primary goal, right? So if we look at, and then the way we do that is if we look at the on trigger enter, this basically means that the collider other here is the crazy NPC. It's these crazy little guys that we see walking around here. That's the other collider. So whenever this NPC walks into a collider, we warp them to somewhere else. So you can see there. So this one's gonna like hit this goal box here, and boop. So he'll go somewhere else. You can see he's over here now. And where they go and where they need to go, so where they go to once they get teleported is set here by inside the enemy movement script, which you looked at earlier. And then we warp them to something called new position, which is the vector 3 new position. So basically, if I could just show this visually, because maybe it's easier to understand a little bit, if I look for, I really need to write some helper scripts to organize just all the assets in the levels, because they're getting to be quite busy. Bear with me. Patrol nodes, no, that's the older ones. Walking routes. So I've got an empty object called walking routes, and I just store them all in there. So if we look at all these walking routes, ignore that one for now because that's a different one. But we have a couple here. We have like 5 different routes. So route 1 has got this node over here. You'll see they'll make use of that node now, and they'll go somewhere else. And they're going over here. This is where they get warped to. You can see she went down there and then teleported away again. So that's basically how that works. So new position. We set over here, basically we set in the script where new position would be. So you can see here, teleport destination, this node here. So we basically say, hey, node 1, whenever one of these little NPC guys hits you, teleport them to this node and set their new destination to be any one of these 4 things, which you can see here is like all the other nodes in the walking route, right? And so the reason we do this is to add some randomness. And if a player actually plays the game, it's a bit difficult to see now because there's only 2 of them because I'm only testing. But you can see there's like, you know, the NPCs randomly walking around now, or, you know, pseudo randomly. But it's pretty cool. It's a lot more interesting than just walking from point A to point B and back again like a patrol route, right? Another minor thing I added was like they can see you, and because these NPCs are classed as just normal NPCs, if they see you they'll say hi and greet you, and you can see they like have little murmurs and mumbles and stuff. But anyway, if you go to so that's the one NPC system I put in today, which is like just random. Hello there. So if we go to the other one, so there's a lady with like red hair or pink hair up here. If we go up there. Sorry, I couldn't find the elevator because I haven't put the lighting in properly yet. So we go up the elevator. There's a lady here, so if we follow what she does, she'll go down here and wait for 2 seconds. So you can see 1, 2, and then she'll go up. She'll go to this point over here, roughly somewhere. She won't wait here though. She'll move up to her next position, which is her first position in the patrol route, which is over here somewhere. Yeah, and then she'll move down here, and this is the last point or last node in her patrol routes. And she'll stand here for about 5 seconds. Well, exactly 5 seconds, but you know, with travel time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then she'll move somewhere. There she goes. And then she'll start moving it. So it's pretty cool because this is more of like I kind of want to adjust the NPC patrol logic to match this patrol logic a bit because it's more interesting and it's pretty powerful in how we can use it. So if we look at just how it works differently because so with the difference with this NPC is there's no random element, right? She will have a predefined route because we're making a stealth game. It's important that the player is able to predict where an enemy is going to be going by watching them for a little while. So let's, for example, say I'm playing this level and this is like an enemy and I'm like up here and you know, I'm stalking in the shadows, being all angsty. Like, I can see where they're patrolling, and I can start, like, learning to predict where they're going to go. So, like, they'll stand there for a little bit, and then they'll move up here. So I'm gonna try and get behind them. I should wait, and now they'll move up that way, so I can go down here, and I can sneak up on them. So it's an important gameplay mechanic, right? So if there was some randomness, it'd be more exciting, but it could be quite frustrating for a player as well. So that's my long-winded way of saying that's why I have predefined patrol routes. So if we look at how these patrol routes work, I'll click on one of them. Let me go back to this area, the debug, the scene screen here. So this is the first area. So if you look at the left side of all of this craziness over here, I'll select that's the whole route highlighted now, right? So the player or the NPC will start here when the game begins or when the level loads in. We can see we've got a script that says wait and move patrol, right? And we've got some things we can do here. We say the next patrol node, which is number 2, which is that one, which is over there. So we tie all the nodes together by saying node 1 is connected to node 2, node 2 is connected to node 3, and imaginatively enough, node 3 is connected to node 4. And then 4 goes back to 1, so it loops. So that's how we set that. We set the transforms there, which is basically a transform in Unity is like, it's not exactly a position, but it's something that contains position coordinates in 3D space, like vector 3s. So basically it's go to this area in the game, essentially. We've got another variable here which says wait before next, and it's a boolean, which means we can check it or we can uncheck it. If we check it, we have to set a time to wait, because basically what we're saying is like, hey, for this node, I would like whoever collides with it, like the NPC that collides with it, to wait, and I would like them to wait 10 seconds, right? So if we do that, then the NPC will get there and they'll wait 10 seconds. By default it's 5, but you can change it to be whatever. So this is pretty, oh yeah, I can't, that's instinctively trying to save, my muscle memory is crazy. So this is cool because when we set up routes, we might not really know the timings of things, and we don't want to hard code that into the code, right? So if you have a look at the code for that script, it's pretty simple. much like the random one, we're hijacking the coroutine which sets position every second, right? So we hijack that and we kind of just set the goal to be the next patrol node. The only difference is whenever the NPC enters that box and collides with it, similar to like the random one worked, we see if wait before next is checked. So that boolean we saw before, right? This boolean over here. We wait to see if it's checked. If it is checked, then we do a start coroutine, another coroutine, I know there's a lot of them in my game, called wait before setting next. So over here we just do a simple wait, where time to wait is the public float, which we set here, remember? This one here, which defaults to 5. So we just say time to wait. So we say, hey, wait before settings true, so we're going to wait for however long we want to wait, and then we're going to set the next patrol. If we don't have it checked, then we're just going to set the new patrol room. Well, so that means when the NPC bumps into you, just set the NPC's new destination somewhere else. Point them to go somewhere else in the patrol chain. And then they will do so. So the most important thing is, for all this to work, is basically this destination setting here from the reset position. And I have to like refactor a lot of this code at some point just because it's very mixed and messy. So what I'm hoping to do now is to, since I've tested this out and it works pretty well and I'm really happy with the results, I'm going to start refactoring to maybe remove raycasting and just use the colliders. The only drawback in my current implementation with this is like we check for tags right in a generic way. So the way that tags work in Unity, it's a way to organize your game objects, right? So we want, for example, we've got these little gray guard dudes down here. If we click on them specifically, we can see that they're tagged as enemies because we want all the enemy code in the game to work with this little goober over here. So, you know, it needs to be an enemy. This NPC over here, click on her if she stops running away from me. It's an NPC generic because we want her to be a generic NPC. I could change her tag to be NPC scared, and she will become kind of like a different class of NPC, which is ones you saw earlier and when I had made other videos like earlier in the game, where you're in like a hostile area, and if an NPC sees you, they're going to freak out and run away and scream for help, right? So that's what will happen if I change them to that. To be honest with you, I'm not sure if it'll work right now, but it'll break all of our pathfinding. So I should probably not do that. Let's see what happens. What happens if I set you to this? In fact, I'm up here. What's wrong with... you see, she's like doing the like, hello, who's there? It disabled my... yeah, she's freaking out because she saw me. But her pathfinding is a bit buggy. So whatever. It's just like this. So how I switch between different behavior types is by using tagging. The unfortunate thing is in code we check for these tags. So if there are two NPCs on this level, for example, let's say there was another lady or another dude classed as an NPC generic here, if they had a different patrol route, but they accidentally hit a different node, they would become hijacked and they would just, you know, get sucked into the other node. So currently my thinking, the way around that is pretty simple, is to just have like, to check for maybe some other type of identifier rather than tag. But I've tried to do that in the past and it didn't work out too well. I don't want to check for game object name because that's not an ideal situation, and I could check for like the UUID of the game object in the engine, but that doesn't work right because they're not uniquely identifiable and they change every time you load a level. So whatever, like I need to figure out how to do that. But for now, like I'm happy with like, you know, predefined things, mostly because if it's going to be a predefined NPC encounter, I want it to be placed very purposefully. If I just want some busyness, like some NPC dudes running around, then I'll just go up, you know, use these random goobers over here that just walk around talking and saying hello to people. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully it was like interesting to see just the utter chaos and lunacy behind these things that make my little guys move around the screen. But yeah, cool. See you guys next time when I do more. I have to finish building the apartment level, and then so basically, oh, maybe I can show you like a sneak peek of like the next video. I'll be doing the next part of the quest chain, but the quest chain isn't implemented yet because I have to implement the apartments. So if you go in here, there's like an apartment building. There you go. I could say the words. So if we go in here, it's not implemented yet, so it's a bit hacky. So, oh, I knocked her out by accident. Whoops, I need to rebind knockout and use door to not be the same button. Oh god, I just murdered someone. Okay, I'm gonna go. See ya.